Hi Panda Pops, coming at you in last night's makeup, in which I batch filmed 2 videos to introduce a chat I had with the lovely Lily Simpson, who runs her own YouTube channel where she does long form video essays about things like transness and just general bad media, I would say, but also some really interesting stuff. Like she did a 10-hour Harry Potter video, which I haven't seen, probably not going to after my stint with Harry Potter. If you know, you know. And a recent video on Twilight. So we talked about those. We also talked about, you know, growth on YouTube, and it was just a really fun conversation to have. So strap in, strap on, and let's get started. I just want to say something. Oh yeah, I started recording in the middle of Lily's sentence, so that's some great YouTuber action from your guy Orby. Okay, all right, enjoy the conversation.
The spike of like attention from YouTube algorithm, I assume.
That's cool.
So it's basically just waiting to see, like, okay, so it's done this well before that spike. Is it going to actually have that spike?
Yeah.
It's a little nerve-wracking. You're always like, oh, is this going to spike, or is it just going to like flatline and like peak out and stuff?
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I get like 30 views for per video after about a month, so I'm like, yeah, spike, 20 hit 22 views.
Yeah, and I mean, it's obviously, I guess it's the thing of like the more views you get, the expectation changes for what you expect to happen. So you're always like, oh, okay, like you're always, and I guess the whole platform encourages you to always wanting to be bigger. Like,
yes.
You always want it to go larger. So you're like, oh, this one's not performing as well as this video. So oh, this is what I'm saying. Like, is it gonna where's this gonna go, kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, generally, all that happens is that as soon as I finish a video, I get like a day of me being like, oh, thank God I finished a video, and then I'm just right into writing the next video.
Yeah.
I'm always like, okay, well, that's done. Next video, focus on that now, and just move into that. So
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I just like started running the next one just a way to just get my brain off of the old one.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can understand that. It's like I had a podcast that was like kind of popular, I suppose. I don't know how many people have heard it around the world, but I remember just like sitting there like looking at the analytics just going up, ticking, and I'm like, is this my self-worth happening right now? Like, is this what I've achieved in life?
Yeah, it is weird how much it's like that self-worth thing, yeah, definitely comes into play with it. It's like a lot of people like, oh, like how good whatever I've made is like it's not comfortable enough to just let it be defined by like, did I enjoy making it, and therefore, and like, do I like the end product? It's are other people also enjoying it, / is it getting the amount of attention that I think is warranted for the work that I put into it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And then it's even worse when you include like you know, economic stuff into that, of like the art, am I getting paid for this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I making money for this or anything? So
yeah. Do you ever worry about that if like one of your videos gets demonetized or something?
So the demonetization hasn't bothered me ever, specifically because I don't have YouTube AdSense.
Oh, there you go.
I've applied for it twice, and it's both times they've come back and said, we're sorry, but the content that your channel does is not is not
profitable
for. I don't know, profitable. I think it's just like a lot of the old stuff was like very trans content.
Yes.
So I think that a lot of it was like them like, oh, we don't think we can like put ads onto this, or we don't think that we can. But I mean, it hasn't stopped people claiming the video. So someone's getting paid ad money from it, but it's not me.
That is so weird.
Which is So like the main way that I get money is Patreon, Ko-Fi, is like So like, which is Patreon is like so much harder to like I'm like even like, okay, I'm like, once I've done enough videos to feel comfortable doing it, I'm like, I should just make like a Patreon video that's just like, hey, reminding all the people that subscribed,
Yeah.
you can go and you can give me money on the Patreon. That would be really helpful to like, so that I can actually like focus on these videos and not be like worried about like
working 2 or 3 extra jobs
job
or
and stuff.
yeah.
Because I mean, it is. There's so many hours going into them, and like there's only so many hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, I'm studying, I'm working, and I'm also trying to make, 4-6 hour long videos.
Yeah, that's so intense.
So like a lot of effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's another question I had. Have you ever felt the pressure to like make more videos that are shorter, or you're just really happy making longer videos?
I mean, it's I think it's the weird thing of, I guess for a lot of people who are aware of the channel, it would be a case of they predominantly know me through the longer videos, through the Harry Potter video, through, I mean, even the other 2 videos that did quite well were the It's Always Sunny and the How Many Other Ones, which were both at 45-minute, 35-minute kind of things, so not like short ones. But like before those videos, I was doing YouTube for 4 years or something.
Oh wow.
3 years, 3.5 years.
Wow.
And like most of those were below 20 minutes sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's very much like it's just taking me a long time to get to where I am and be like, I think this is the kind of videos that I enjoy making, and I wasn't sure if making them was going to be something that people would want to watch. And then having that conversation, people will watch 10-hour videos. They will watch like 5-hour videos. Like, I was like, okay, that's actually like, that's really good to like know. I mean, that was like, it was, I had to dig at them in the recent video because I just thought it was funny to have put them there because like I think we follow each other on Twitter and stuff, but Quentin Reviews specifically was the person I saw their stuff like really long videos doing well. I was like, so you can do long videos. On like pop culture, and people will like tune in for it.
Yeah, my most popular videos are longer videos, but I don't know why I switched. It was just like so exhausting because I would film like the end product would be like maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but I would film for like 4 hours and then I'd have to cut that down in the editing, and it just took me so long, and even scripting the videos was like so exhausting, and then I'm just like, nope, veering away from that, like just not up to it anymore.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of work in it, and I think it does just come down to weirdly enough, catering the type of content that you make to your personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm obsessive. Like if I watch or engage with something, then I normally go all in on it. Like I'll be obsessed with that for 6 months or something. So it's just getting me during that obsessive phase, and then because then all I can think about is that anyway. I'm away from watching or whatever, and I'm still talking to people like friends and stuff, and all I can talk about is that thing. To the point that you can see that they're getting sick of it, and they don't want to talk to me anymore.
Yeah, just like info dumping about.
I should stop talking about this. Yeah, we can talk this so much.
Yeah, just like info dumping about Twilight for 2 hours, and your friend's like, yeah, Bella, yeah.
Yeah, well, the Twilight one was good because of the fact that we did a watch party with my flat for it. Because one of the people in the flat hadn't seen it ever. So that was like watching it originally there was what made me go, maybe I should do a video of this, because I was like, there's some really interesting stuff like in there that until I rewatched it this time with someone who was new, it was like I didn't even notice how strange like that particular scene was. And I was like, I wonder how that like translate, like what's the like wider connotations of that.
Yeah, definitely.
And what was often found was that like a lot of times the wider connotations didn't exist, which was interesting compared to like Harry Potter, where like Harry Potter was, I think that's why like when I came to it, it was like, these are two very different brief looks, because Harry Potter it's about the lore of the world, it's about how you build this sort of wider universe, whereas in Twilight it's more about how were these characters written, like what are the characters that were created, like what's their themes, what's their motivations, what's their development like, because
It's
as
so
far as why the
bare.
world goes, there's nothing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's this which, not to spoil the video, but I did kind of say that I don't think that's a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
I think you can, a lot of times in like those like books or the character-driven ones, you can just kind of make a reference to something and just be like, the audience can fill the gaps in. I don't need to tell them that, I don't know, wizards shat their pants and teleported it away somewhere. No one, people probably just assumed that wizards went to the toilet. Like, I didn't need to fill that piece of information
I think you did. I think you did. I think that's a very important piece of knowledge that everyone should have.
It's like you can get way too stuck into, I think, of an author, like you get way into your own universe sometimes and you start filling in everything as like, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Like, an audience will do a lot of work for you there and be like, oh, I didn't need to know. Or like, they'll be like, in the back of the mind, it's like, oh, that probably just happens because of this. Like, it's like a pretty obvious, like, this seems like obvious reasons. They just kind of like gloss over it. And you ruin that illusion when you tell them what the thing is, and it doesn't add up. That's when the illusion gets broken, I think. Yeah,
definitely. I just realized that my dead name is on this on this thing. I'm just going to change it. Actually, would you like to just introduce yourself a little bit? And
sure.
Because we kind of missed out on that. How do I change this? I don't even know how to do. Here we go. I got it.
I don't use Zoom. I've got no idea.
That's okay. Just change it. I'll just edit it in the editing part when I finish it. Just introduce yourself, Lily.
Okay. I'm Lily Simpson. Predominantly, I do either YouTube content creation, deep dives talking about pop culture or discussing trans representation within popular culture. I also post way too much on Twitter, which is just one of those things that I don't think it's building anything, but it fills a little bit of time in the day.
Well, actually, Twitter was one of my main sources of like views and people getting interested in what I was doing, because I remember I was doing this fan fiction deep dive, like an iceberg, and I still have to finish that because I only got 2 videos into it. There was like, I planned like 6 videos of it and I only got 2 videos in, and then I just like abandoned it. And I actually replied to one of Natalie Wynn's, like she was talking about fan fiction, and I was like, oh hey, I've just got this fan fiction video that I'm doing, and people like saw that and then like came over to my channel and was like, oh cool. But I suppose I should get back into that.
It's you've got attention on it, probably not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to finish things if you don't feel like anything.
I know, it's
no
like,
one forces you to do anything.
I know, every time I'm like, oh, I have plans to do this, they just fall through. They just like, absolutely, it just doesn't happen. Attention span 0.
There might be reasons for that.
I think it's the ADHD, but yet to be determined. Yet to be determined.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, definitely. I also wanted to talk about like being trans on YouTube. Is that something that, like, I don't know, other people are affected by, like in terms of, is there any transphobia that you've faced or anything like that?
On YouTube, it's sort of a difficult thing of like, there's definitely comments just about it pretty like not infrequently, somewhat frequently, of like, but there are like the basic comments that I presume most people get on their stuff, and so it just at this point after years has sort of become like a background noise that I don't even consider really. So like it's the same, like it's like a lot of sort of any sort of online social media. There's tons of comments from random people that have no real impact that you just sort of ignore. It's like, I think the ones where it really matters is if like any big name channels get their hands on like your stuff, and they can generate a sort of wave of that stuff that really just take over.
Send a whole hate mob to you.
Yeah, which like I said yet again, I've not had anybody make responses, not to the new channel, I'm not anyone making responses to the new channel. There's the very old channel, which I took down like I think 2.5 years ago now or something.
What was it about?
That was, like I said, this is one of those things where it's like I've mentioned it sometimes to some people and they go, oh yeah, I heard of that channel. What's it called? Gushin was the name of the channel.
Okay.
If you're vaguely in BreadTube spheres, like from like 2.5 years ago, or 3 years ago, you're probably like there'll probably be like a lot of people like that. Oh, I sort of recognize that name. It was a lot more, I guess, chasing, like, drama's not like totally the right word, but like chasing like the popular thing at that moment to talk about kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was like I was doing like videos like 3 or 4 times a week sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
And it was all like the stuff where it's all the stuff where it was like infighting drama stuff or whatever. And like eventually we just reached a point where I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Like it's like getting views and it's getting like attention, but it's like not attention that I want.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just deleted the channel.
Did you
deleted the channel,
migrate anywhere else, or you just straight up one day no?
I deleted it, and then a few months later I started up another channel that did kind of all right. Didn't really enjoy that one either though, so I just it's still up, I just haven't done anything on it. And then I sort of like waited for a bit, then I started this channel, and then did this channel for 1.5 years without really hitting any kind of like a what I wanted to do kind of thing. It's literally been the past like 3-4 months where I was like okay, like maybe this is like something, this is what I enjoy doing, and it's also successful as well, so this is like a good crux of like two of like the two things of enjoyment and success.
That's awesome. I mean, if you can find that in a job, that's amazing.
If I could just get YouTube to be a job, that would be what I'm currently doing would be great right now. Or alternatively, if I could get, I don't know, some sort of artist living wage set up thing where you could get paid a basic income and then you could just to be able to focus on your stuff, that'd be great.
That would be cool, yeah.
Which, I mean, I know there are a few programs that do that, like a couple of test programs right now around the world. I think there's one in Scotland,
Yeah, there's one in Ireland as well, yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a few test programs to do that, because that used to be a thing they used to do.
Yeah.
It used to be those kind of programs.
Or people would just get their parents to bankroll their groovy lifestyle.
Not everyone can get their parents to bankroll.
No.
Unfortunately, you don't think. But I mean, it's one of those like that would be so good, because it's so much like people doing either creative work or like art stuff. They don't really get so much of the income of that is tied up into there's such an unreliable stream. So it's having a reliable thing of like, oh, you're definitely getting paid this much at least, so that you can survive, and then you can like still just do your work, even if you're in a dry spell of like not being able to like hit success right now or like whatnot. Like that'd be a really great way to encourage people to get more into art, because otherwise you sort of get choked out of it. Like there's
definitely.
tons of
hopefully
great
that,
YouTubers.
Yeah, hopefully that like Patreon is kind of like a good source of that kind of thing, like, because you know how many patrons you have, but then it's also like, what if they all disappear tomorrow and like Patreon goes down and what? It's
I mean, there's also a ton of things that like it's I think a lot of people do really don't like it feels like you're pressuring people to sign up to the Patreon. So a lot of people don't like doing that. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Where it's like, I mean, you're not getting paid to do this. People are enjoying this. Like, you've got to get paid somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
So like which is why, like I said, I mean, inspired by a couple of other people that I'm friends with in YouTube who've done videos. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do like a Patreon video, because I know that doing those for them was very successful at like actually like getting people who subscribe to my YouTube to like realize they had a Patreon and realize that like the Patreon was an essential thing, and then like move over to using that.
Yeah.
So there's like a thing of like I'm debating doing that, but then I'm like, I don't want to do that until I've done enough videos to justify to people that I deserve to get that. And it's like there's such a mess.
Yeah,
really.
Every time I start a Patreon, I get like 2 months into it, and I'm like, I can't keep up with like regular posting or like extra content, because it just takes so much out of me to just like even do what I'm doing, which is like I have 2 jobs, and then I'm like, which are freelance, but then I'm also freelancing on other things on the side, and then I'm trying to upload like 2 times a week on YouTube, and it's just like having a Patreon would be like so awful. It's just like having to produce extra content.
I mean you can just set, you can really set expectations with your Patreon going into it to like help that. Like my one is very clear of like for people who sign up to it, it's you will get recognition at the end of the videos that you are paying on my Patreon, and I will also a week beforehand or like weeks beforehand, you'll get early access to the first chapters or the first couple of chapters for the long brief looks. So like that's what you get from subscribing to Patreon, but like realistically what you're really getting is you're enabling me to keep making the videos.
Definitely.
So it's like, I don't. I know some people do like setting up Discords and stuff for like people who like support the channels to like come and hang out, which I will never do.
Do you just not like Discord?
Well, no, I use Discord a lot, but there's like a thing with like the whole parasocial stuff, which I'm really wary of, because I like people enjoying my work. I'm not so on the board of like having like dedicated fans. Like if it's if dedicated fans just meant someone who like kept watching who come back to watch your work, it's like, oh, I enjoy what you do and I want to come back and watch that would be fine. But when it becomes a case of like they're like engaging with you in a way where it's like they think that it's like a friend thing, well, like I try to make it very clear to like everyone online that like we're not friends. I don't really know people, like a lot of people online. Like it's a couple of people I do know that like my online friends, but it's like very sparse. It's very few. So I try and always keep like a professional sort of relationship there, which is why like the Discord thing, it like feels like it's straying into the kind of like, they can like see me on Discord and they can like message like in like forums and stuff. It's like I don't want to make that about myself. That feels really it's interesting. That would be uncomfortable, I feel like.
I have this kind of chronic look at me syndrome, so I'm like not trying to foster that parasocial relationship, but I think, you know, if I did have it, it wouldn't be as bad. Like, I know that's like really weird. It's really weird to say, but I just like, I made a YouTube channel because I was like, I have so much to say and people should listen to it. And all I did was sit on my back porch and like read through Reddit forums which were talking about my favorite supernatural characters. It's literally all I did. So
there's a lot of kinds of content creation and a lot of kinds of people who engage with that. And I don't think that there's any right or wrong way for one person to do it, but I think there are right and wrong ways for each person.
Like
to
a personal
do it.
thing,
There's right and wrong ways for you to do it based on like what you know you're comfortable with, or what you're aware that you're like available to really do.
Absolutely.
And like you could talk to my IRL people. I am very not selective so much with like friends and stuff, but I don't have a large friend group because I'm not a very like extroverted person who goes out and like hangs out with a lot of people. I don't like dedicate a lot of time to that kind of thing because I get burnt out very quickly. So I know that I can't do like those kind of parasocial relationships. They would tie me out massively, kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, close down. But like I said, but then like when I think about it, like if you like watch any of my videos, the version you're getting of me on those videos is basically the same version that any of my friends would get.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of really admirable, actually, because I know a lot of people will have like this persona, and I'm still trying to figure out whether I do have a persona. Like, I'm still figuring out YouTube. I'm still figuring out like having my face online. Like, honestly, I was like, yesterday I had like a meltdown because I was like, well, not really a meltdown, but I just had this like moment of intense insecurity where I was like, I have to change my Tumblr URL and my Tumblr name and my icon so that nobody can find me anymore because it's like, you know, people who follow me can still find me, but I like sometimes go through like deleting my followers, just like blocking them because I'm like, I don't want people to like know who I am. And then it's like, but I literally put my face all over the internet. Like, there's no like ding dong ditching my way out of that one anymore, you know? And so I used to just go through these periods where I would just like absolutely delete all my socials and just start again with like a new name, and and then it's like I can't do that anymore. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Love YouTube too much.
Yeah. I definitely have sort of started off with that sort of like anonymity kind of thing and like trying to work into that one, but then sort of swiftly like went out of it with like, I guess the realization of it, I've been like, okay, like the way that I want to present myself on like a YouTube, on my channels, is I prefer to do me on the video with stuff happening like around it. And like, okay, well in that case I've got myself is out there already. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, well I'm using my real name doesn't necessarily impact me too badly, mostly because of location. I think if I lived somewhere else, I'd probably be more cautious of that. If I lived in the USA or lived in the UK, I'd probably be more cautious about like being so open about this kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But the chance of getting hate mail or getting a stalker or whatever is significantly lessened by the fact that most of the people that will see that are 7,000 or 8,000 miles away. So
yeah, definitely.
There's like a safety of like distance there in that regards.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, like I get all the time. I get predominantly at this point, and this is like this is why I'm like this YouTube has to blow up because it's annoying me now at this point. But the predominant way in which people in real life have been like, oh, I think I recognize you, and like what they'll do is they'll have a picture from either Instagram or TikTok where it's one of my tweets on someone else's Instagram or someone else's TikTok, and it's like, oh, this is you, right? And it's like, yeah, that is one of my tweets. Yeah. And it's like I've got to do better than my Twitter. That's the only thing I want from my YouTube, is for my YouTube to become successful enough that people finally I'll get someone to come and be like, oh, I recognize you from YouTube. And I'm like, finally, yes, I'm not recognized from a tweet of me with the iFunny thing at the bottom of it.
So it's like, oh, you did the Bella Swan Twilight episode. You did that video.
That would be great. I would. That happening in real life, I think would be that's like that. Okay, cool. I've made it because someone I know in real life has come and like, oh, I recognize you from this YouTube video.
Yeah,
Instead
definitely.
Of just Twitter posts elsewhere, which is infuriating.
That's awesome. I think that's. Hang on, I'll see if I have any other questions. I think. Okay, I think Zoom is gonna shut down on me because there's like a time limit or something for free channels.
Popped up.
Okay. Anyway, so I think we'll end it there. I didn't want to go for too long anyway, but it was lovely to meet you, and it was lovely to have a chat.
Yeah, it was good to have a quick chat. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Is it okay if I put this on my YouTube channel?
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, go for it. Anything I say on here is my official opinion on it and has my approval to be posted places.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, I'll see you around maybe.
Sweet. Yeah.
I'll definitely be watching your videos because I need to watch that Always Sunny one. I haven't seen that one yet, but I did watch the Dean Pelton one. I think I watched that before I watched Community. Like my wife and I just did this huge binge of Community, and then I think I watched Dean Pelton like before I watched it, so I need to go back and rewatch it.
I think there's because the next, that was the thing that I was like looking at, was like that I was like, okay, this actually, I think it was going to be a good way of doing things, was I'll do a brief look, and then in between that I wanted to like make a curious case kind of thing.
Yes.
Like another style thing. So the next one is, that I'm calling, this was what I was working on beforehand, was the curious case of Charles Bing.
Who's that?
I.e. Chandler's dad from Friends. Because it's a really complex, not in a good way, character, because it's not really clear what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they have like a drag persona,
yeah,
Helena Handbasket, who we see them performing as. And you're like, okay, so I guess they're a gay man.
Yeah.
Then it becomes very clear that the drag persona of Helena Handbasket is, they've had like surgeries and stuff, like they live as a woman predominantly. It's like, okay, so they're not a gay man who does drag, they're a trans woman, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like they've shoved these like all these different queer ideas together, and the writers weren't sure that maybe they just didn't talk to anybody in the community about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, oh, this is just like a vaguely queer person, like was like what it came across as. It's short enough because they only appear in like 2 episodes. They appear in 4 episodes, but they only really appear in 2. So it's like, it's short enough because they don't have much of an impact on the show. So it's like a really like zoomed in character analysis.
But you could say
that's just like lets me just on the way. Like a quick like 16-20 minute video.
Yeah. You could say that they have a huge impact on Chandler though.
Well, that's one of the, I've split it up into like, I've just done the character, my chapter breakdown, which is how I always do my videos. I always do a chapter breakdown first, so I know what I'm going to write, and then I just write from there. And it's kind of like, it talks about like how all the mentions beforehand.
Yeah.
It's like all the mentions and like the build up to them appearing, and which is all just basically Chandler just like being openly like dreading like meeting them, or openly like being upset about their existence and how that impacts him explicitly, which obviously ties into the way that we then see him treating his father, which is very like ashamed, very like doesn't want to like really be there. It's interesting. It's interesting enough that I'm like, okay, I can do a short video for this one here while I try and figure out what the next big video is going to be on.
Yes.
Which could be Buffy. I mean, I'm watching that a lot right now.
Yeah.
So could be Buffy, but I'd do Buffy and Angel probably would be just do this two together. The Pokemon video, which is the one I stupidly promised to do at 250k. People keep now asking, saying, "Oh, we hit 250k. Are you making the Pokemon video?" And the answer is that yes, I am making it, but what has happened is that the script and the chapter thing has gotten so out of control because there's too much that I want to talk about with Pokemon. So I'm like looking at it like, this is going to end up being like a 30-hour video.
Oh, that's so much.
Like it's gonna be ridiculous because I'm doing like, I've got like a chapter about like Nuzlocke, which I've done multiple Nuzlocke for to write the chapter.
What's a Nuzlocke?
So a Nuzlocke is a certain kind of Pokemon playthrough, where basically you can only catch one Pokemon per route. If a Pokemon dies, you have to release it, so you can't use it again. So it's designed to like encourage like you to really get tied, like emotionally connected to your Pokemon, because you've got a limited amount of them, and if they are not unconscious, you don't get to use them again. It really blew up popularity because of like a couple of like famous people did a few Nuzlocke videos on YouTube, so like really pushed it to like mainstream attention. But also like there's fan games that I've played. Like I've played all the Pokemon fan games. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to write chapters about those ones as well. And then I've also got to do a chapter about the Pokedex, all 1,000 and 100 and whatever it is Pokemon now. It's like, this is too big.
Yeah.
This is all stuff I've done without even talking about the lore of the games, the teams, the like backgrounds, the legendary Pokemons and what they mean, the fucking professors, the various like professions that exist, and that is before I've even talked about the anime. And it's like there's also the anime to as well. It's like the anime is a separate universe to the games. They have similar themes, but they exist in different universes. And then there's the manga, which also exists in its own universe. It's like there's just too much here, and it's like I keep writing it and I keep going, this will probably be done in like 2 years time.
Yeah.
Like,
would you think about like releasing maybe like a couple hour long videos, or like maybe a 10-hour video here, and then maybe in a year's time another 10-hour video or something like that?
I'm debating putting that's I kind of think I'm going to just put it into like I'm going to make it into 3 parts.
Yep.
Each one like 10 hours long. So I was like, that's like, and I was like, okay, well, first part can be the video games, second part can be the anime, third part can be the fan games, or like fan stuff. Like that's like it's a good division of like the concepts of it. But yeah, I mean, even that's still going to take who knows how long to make.
How long does it take you to write a video? Is it like dependent on how long it is, or is it like
it really just depends on how long it is, and also how easily I get invested into it. I mean, the Harry Potter one was about 5 months, but I started writing the script like a year beforehand. I started it, then stopped and went, I don't know if I can actually make this video, so I just didn't bother doing it. And then I got kind of like disappointed, like, oh, screw it, I'm just gonna make this video. Like, I'll just make it.
That's such a huge effort. Like, that is intense to make a 10-hour video. Like, not just on Harry Potter, but just like to make a 10-hour video just of anything, and not a live stream or anything like that, but like multiple, like 5 months of like, you know, writing it, and then multiple filming sessions, and then editing a 10-hour.
The editing isn't too bad, because you can get really into, like, I normally what happens is I'll get really into the editing, and I'll just sort of do like 3 weeks of like sort of 14-hour days on it, and like that way it just gets done. Like,
there should be an artist UBI or something like that. Like, just because, like, honestly, people who do YouTube, it's like, we kind of work really hard on our craft, and it's like really exhausting. A lot of the time I find it really exhausting, but
I am the timer is taking. I'm like seeing like it's like a minute left, and I'm like, that's it's gonna it's just gonna cut off midway. So
okay, I'll let you go and have a good rest. What is it, Thursday? Have a good rest of the week. Thank you so much for talking. Okay, see ya.
No worries. Bye.
So that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed our chat. I'll leave a link to Lily's channel in the comments. I'll leave a link to Lily's channel in the description, and you can check her out because her videos are really funny and really good. And if you liked this video, I'm not sure if this is going to be a thing. I randomly just reach out to YouTubers and I'm like, hey, can I interview you? Do you want to have a chat? I can put it on my page. Like, that's all I do. I reached out to Lily. So yeah, if you want to see more of these, I don't know, give me names of smallish YouTubers that I can contact, because bigger YouTubers don't know who I am, and they will definitely not want to come on a channel with 134 subscribers. So you can bump me up if you want. You can bump those rookie numbers up. Get your friends to follow me. Get your Pappy and your Grassy to follow me. And we'll go from there. All right.